Where'd your name come from?
Luciano, it's a name that has been, pretty much given to me due to my circumstances of, being the brightest light. That's what it actually means. It's an Italian name, but it also means the brightest light. So it's something that, I stuck with.
Now, where are you from?
I'm originally from New York, Queens, but from there I went to Virginia, lived there for a little bit with my aunt. Then we moved to Indiana, stayed there for a little while, and now I'm just all over the place.
What's home?
I'm a rolling stone. I don't got no home. Home is, for me, home is where the heart is. You know what I'm saying? Your heart is something that you give to somebody, and I feel like I haven't given my heart to a certain position. That's why I can't commit to a certain area. I have to, I can't just stay in one area. I got to move around. I gotta go.
Now, let's take it back a little bit. What type of student were you in school?
I made really good grades, actually. I was stubborn, hard-headed. I'm one of those intelligent guys, but I'm an asshole. You know what I'm saying? So I was very, very, articulate and intellectual in my conversations, but knowing too much, sometimes I took advantage of people and, got over on a lot of people. And, when you're young and you make mistakes, you got to grow from that.
Jobs you had growing up, if any?
I worked at Lone Star. I liked that job a lot. It was a good job. But I could never really get into the 9-to-5 jobs. I mean, even when I was, pushing through the restaurants and stuff like that, I mean, it really wasn't something I really wanted to do. I was in the streets. I was grinding, trying to take care of the responsibilities. It's not something that I would tell somebody, go sell drugs or anything like that. It was just, I wanted nice things. My mom couldn't afford to buy me sneakers or anything like that, so I had to go out here and find a way to make things happen by any means necessary. Cut grass, do something. So it wasn't just about hustling in the streets as far as drugs, but a hustle to me was anything I can get my hands on to make something happen. Ultimate hustle.
Any crazy customer stories dealing with that job?
Yeah, a lot. A lot. To keep it PG, I would say mostly it's just like people take advantage of you. You know what I'm saying? Or they try to take advantage of it. For me, I think one of the incidents that I had somebody really close to me that I was working with, and we were friends for a long time. And when you're making money with people, jealousy always happens. And unfortunately, I got put in a bad situation. I got jumped, got hit with brass knuckles, ripped my whole face off. Had to go to the hospital. I choked on blood and died. It's somebody really close to me. I mean, I kind of got prejudiced in the business. I started only serving to white clients because I felt like their money was more good. I didn't have to worry about credit. I didn't have to worry about if they told me they was going to pay me next Thursday, they paid me. I was in the streets hustling, making, good money, making $3,000 a week off of grinding. So, I mean, for a person that's like 17, you really can't even be mad at that. But that life's behind me now, and I'm looking better to, the future, something positive.
What's the worst thing you put your parents through?
Life. I feel that, and I can't really say that what I put, my mom through. It's more so that, I was kind of rebellious to the fact that my mom wasn't really around as much, and my aunt and my grandmother mostly took care of me. And when I did have those moments with my mother, the relationship was kind of rocky. So my mom she got pregnant young. So when her being a young adult, well, not even an adult, she was a teenager. She was 14, 15 when she had me. So it's like she ran away with my pops. So it's just like she wasn't ready and I wasn't ready. And I feel like we put each other through things, but I thank God for those things, because those trials and tribulations created a better relationship for me and my mother before she passed. So I mean, not too many people can say that, you know, before their parents passed away, that they had, you know, a great relationship with their mother. As far as my father, I'm not even familiar with that term. You know, people say father. My great grandfather raised me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't have a father. I have brothers. You know, they taught me everything I know. But my mom, she did the best that she could, and you know, I'm appreciative to that.
What's your message to the youth?
I think what's lacking in our community, and when I say community, I don't just mean Black Lives Matter. I mean all lives. There's Caucasians, there's Black dudes. I feel like the youth is, sometimes the media can manipulate or create an illusion that some people feed into a little too much. I think that you know, it doesn't matter where you come from, it's about where you're going. And I don't care if you're the biggest drug dealer, you should always want to make time to do something for the next person. But the problem with our community is that we can't do nothing for somebody else unless we're getting paid for it. It shouldn't cost nothing to want to go feed the homeless. You shouldn't have to wait to holidays to want to go do something special for somebody. There's people homeless every day, every day. You don't have to wait to Christmas time or Thanksgiving just to go feed somebody.
What do you hate the most about the music industry?
You know, that list could really, really, really go far. Hate's really a strong word. I'd say dislike, because I mean, when you hate something and you've been around it for so long, you kind of grow to like it, you know? You kind of grow to, you know, kind of rubs off on you. What I can't stand is the fact that, you know, people don't want to invest. You know, people don't want to put money into themselves. They want people to, you know, give them handouts and stuff like that. And I mean, it's not even about just the money. It's just like when you put yourself through a situation to actually work for something, grind for something, your mentality changes and you kind of really appreciate the things that you really worked hard for, because it was you putting that blood, sweat, and tears out there. I mean, how can you really, how can you appreciate something that you didn't have to work hard for? It's like staying in somebody's house for free and you ain't paying rent. You're gonna have your friends coming over. You're gonna fuck up the couch, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna eat all the food up in the refrigerator, you know what I'm saying? You're gonna run the lights up. You don't even understand what the definition of responsibility means until the day you have to pay a bill. So when you pay your dues, meaning invest money, you grinding, you know, putting yourself out there to really go full force. I mean, because networking, proper networking equals net worth. But if you just depending on free handouts, I mean, of course, what's that gonna get you? I mean, everybody's doing the free route. That's why there's a bunch of free rappers who got free music out. 50,000, 100,000 views on YouTube, but your music is free and you got that many downloads? You making that much money? Nah, I doubt it.
Top 3 things you need in the studio.
My Jesus piece, for one. I mean, I can't go nowhere without my Jesus piece. That's the first thing. Second thing is my brother, JC, and my boy Bala Macho, and my camera guy Ethan. These guys are my energy, and it's very, very, very important when you're in this music industry that when you're in the studio and you're working, you gotta be around proper energy. It's like if the person that you with, their energy's finicky and you ain't rocking with them, like you gotta get that negative energy out there. And the people I surround myself with, they really, really, you know, play a major influence to my life. Daily decisions. My boy Roosevelt, aka Rose, he's another good person in my life. But my Jesus piece, my family, you know, families, and there really isn't a third thing because I'm already prepared. You know, I don't go to studios to waste people's time. You know, I don't come in there to create a song. I'm gonna figure out my vision and what I want to talk about before I get there.
Craziest studio story, if you have one.
The craziest studio session I've ever been to, I'm not gonna say where or who was around, but it was one of those situations, man, like when you get in a position that you know certain people and you move in a certain way, people don't know who you are, but they know they've seen you on the internet in places like who are you? And you don't want to give them the answer to, like, you don't want to name drop and say, oh, I know this person, or I ghostwritten for that person, or anything like that. They see you. I mean, it goes into a whole nother direction. But I had a chick, damn near ready to rape me. It was crazy. But I handle myself very professionally. I wasn't on that. When I'm on business, I'm on business. But that's not really crazy. It's just like, people's emotions, they go through things, you know what I'm saying? So, ain't no harm, no foul, you know what I mean? Like, I don't even consider that a crazy, situation, because, if there are crazy things going on, my brain is so much in autopilot of grinding that I can't think about if he's scratching his back, or if this person is jumping up and down, if this chick is sending mixed signals. I can't even focus. I got to stay on what I'm on. I'm in my zone.
What's the realest song you ever wrote so far in your whole catalog of music?
Most of the music I do for myself, no pen, no pad off the top.
All right, so what's the realest song you ever spoke out of your whole music catalog?
I think the realest song that I ever spoke that actually had meaning, all my songs have meaning, but the meaning that I felt like kind of shifted the way I thought about things was the part of the song that I did right after my mother died. It's called Mama, I Miss You. I haven't released that song yet. It's actually on a project I have with DJ Holiday, and I've been holding on to that record. It's one of those things, it's so powerful that, every time I hear the record, I get very, very emotional about my mother. And, for those who, lost people that are very close to them, or mothers, or, mother-like, people, I'm sure they can understand where I'm coming from, but everybody gets affected by death a little bit different. And, my mom, I'm not gonna pretend like we had the tightest relationship, because we were like cats and dogs at each other, but that was my mother, and we patched up our relationships. And like, I remember when I finished, I had this mixtape called Guilty Pleasure, and I was working with a couple of individuals at the time. I never really fully released it, but I just finished it, and I called my mom, and we was on good terms. She was never really a fan of the music like that. She wasn't really into it, but she was really into it, and she was just like, I'm so proud of you, and we laughed about it. And I went out with my friends, and we started drinking, and then like, I got the phone call like, yo, your mom's gotta get rushed to the hospital. So it's like, it was that moment right there. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to, I had this tough guy act, when I was younger for the longest, but that was the first time in my life I felt fear. Like, I didn't even know how I was gonna adjust to society, how I was gonna like you say, oh, I don't care if you die, I don't care if you say those things to your parents, and until those moments happen, I don't know, it's just, what I've learned, what I will finish it to say is, you can work hard at whatever you do and have as much money in the world to buy whatever you want, but you can't buy back time, especially if you waste it on not good value. So I tell anybody, if you have somebody that's very important in your life, cherish each moment, because you might not get that back.
Now, I mentioned writing. You mentioned you don't write.
Right, for myself, right.
But I wanted to get your take on ghostwriting, or ghost speaking, since you say you don't write.
Right. We're out there. I am a ghostwriter. I'm proud of it. I've been ghostwriting for a very, very long time. I'm not going to say probably, I have written songs for some of the hottest artists out. I don't name drop. I get the comparisons all the time. This person, that person, but at the end of the day, one of the references I hear all the time, it's like, oh, Drake, or, this person, or that person, or Rick Ross, stuff like that. But, for me, it's like, I never want to build my career up on tearing another man's business down. I never want to, regardless of true or not true, I never want to, hurt somebody's career by saying, I've done this for them, when they've, put a lot of time and effort into it. As far as any other artist, Rick or Drake or anybody else, let them be great. I'm a big fan of those guys, and their music is great, and I respect what they do, and at the end of the day, I'm never going to take time on my career to discredit anybody's craft at all. It doesn't make a damn if I did write their music or not. Who cares? I mean, at the end of the day, you're going to buy it. It doesn't make a difference. Like, I mean, it is what it is. But, you know, I just wish that, you know, allow people to be great. Let them be them. Let them, you know, everything doesn't have to have a negative spin on it. You know what I mean? Sometimes artists use writers, and I'm one of those artists that they may use, and there's a list of others that do the same thing I do. But why, I'm never gonna, even if it wasn't even mentioned about writing, I'm never gonna come up on bashing somebody. If you had to sin to get it, it's not a blessing. So I mean, I'm not comfortable with that. So I would never name drop who I've ever written for. I'll take that to the grave.
Now, what are your keys to success?
There's a lot of keys. I mean, but you need a few. The main thing I think is you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You cannot live in a same comfort zone. You know what I mean? When you live in that comfort zone, that's like being content, and being content means sticking to what feels familiar. So if you're a person that's always eating at McDonald's all the time and fast food restaurants, you're gonna meet a nice person and say, hey, let's go try this nice restaurant. In your mind, I don't want to do it because what if I don't like it, or what if I can't get my money back? You know, it's just being closed-minded. And I mean, you have to have an open-minded in business. Secondly, email and via texting is cool, but actual communication, you have to speak, because I'm not going to, if you send a text to me, I'm going to read it with common sense, and I'm responding with common sense. If it sounds ignorant, you might get an ignorant response, because I don't do all that. I feel like I text people when I don't have time to talk and I'm busy. If we're friends, first off, you wouldn't have got my phone number if we wasn't rocking like that. You know what I'm saying? So if we building a relationship, communicate with me. Let me know how you feeling about me, because at the end of the day, people's lives go every day over the wrong communication, over a status or a tweet or an Instagram post. I mean, and all you're doing is embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing that person, you're embarrassing yourself. Like, I don't get into all that bashing back and forth with people on the internet.
Is there a meaning behind your hair?
Yeah, it's always a statement. You know, there's always a statement behind it. Honestly, I'm not gonna put that territory down, that print, and say I'm the first. But I started out with red. You know what I mean? I dyed my hair red. It was blood rain red. I bought the cheap stuff from Walmart. I'm not gonna lie. Just keep it 100. And when I did the red at first, you know, I just did the tips, and I was like, nah, I want to go ahead and do kind of like how Future had. Future had some of his fully blonde and regular, and that's kind of how I did mine. But when I did mine, I got left and right from where I was traveling, like Mr. Frito Head, I mean, you know, Flaming Hot Cheeto, I mean, just little comments and stuff like that. And, you know, I dealt with it, and then it kind of became irritating because then everybody else, I started seeing a lot of people doing it. Not saying that I was the originator, I'm just saying I've seen so many people doing it that it became a turnoff. So I'm always music, hair, styling, clothing, communication, the way I involve myself with the community. I'm gonna always do something a little different, move a little different on anything that I do. And I just wanna be me. I don't live life for people's responses anymore. Now I'm just like, I'm gonna stick to one thing, and if it's working for me, why change it? And, you know, this was that year that I wanted to do something that could make me stand out as a person, as an individual. Even more so in business, you gotta look approachable. You can't be a person in business if you don't look approachable. With the red, it kind of, you know, people kind of get intimidated and they don't know what to think about you, but colors like this is approachable and it lightens up your face.
So what you got going on right now?
Ooh, man, first of all, I want to say thank you, God, for everything that you're doing. You know what I mean? Too blessed to be stressed. I got to thank the man upstairs. I have a lot really, really going on. I mean, I really wouldn't know where to start, but as far as the ghostwriting, I'm still going to do that. I'm working. I'm traveling, managing artists, managing models, you know, helping the best way I can with the resources that I have and the credentials that I have to share my experience and, you know, help develop and push that person to the next step. Sometimes that comes with ups and downs. People don't take things serious until they see the wave riding. You know, we're gonna ride the wave after that. But so it comes with ups and downs. I mean, a lot of people who BS their way around the situation, and they want people to treat them as business, but they bring personal to the table. Like, I want business, but I want these handouts. It's personal, but I don't want you to personally hit me up when you're on. You know what I mean? It's just, you know how it goes. But besides that, I got an artist that I'm working with, Bala Macho. We're working on his first single right now. It's called Designer Town. My brother JC, I mean, he's part of my team now. I mean, he's always been a part of the team. He's my brother, but we putting his team, you know, putting his organization in together. I got my camera crew. We're shooting a DVD as we speak right now. We're shooting a DVD. The lingerie line, boy short line is popping. It's crazy right now. It's like a new wave. I got chicks all over. Really, really, you know, feeling it. And I want to shout out to Blac Chyna, you know, for really taking the time and consideration to really support the brand and really putting it out there. I mean, a lot of people say a lot of things about it, but man, she's a really beautiful individual. And you know, the conversations that we had, she's not what you think. You know what I'm saying? She's a very, very beautiful person. And you know, I told myself that I was gonna pay that homage and let her know like how truly grateful I am. And I look forward to what future business, you know, ventures that me and her create again together. We got more work to do. I got a mixtape with DJ Holiday that's done. It's been done for a while, but I have not released it yet. You know, due to some of the records have been so personal, I'm just not, I don't know about how I'm gonna deal with that emotion, but you know, I'm gonna get it together. Working on you know, another mixtape called the Ghost Print, you know, basically kind of like Jay with the Blueprint, but this is me going over the trails and telling the stories and, you know, dropping hints but never names. You know, that's all I do, drop hints. I got that going on. I'm working on my album, King of Hearts. It's an R&B album. It's more about, it's kind of like a Usher's confession. You know, it's not like King of Hearts, like, oh, I can make you feel good, baby, baby. It's not one of them type of records. It's one of them records that, I mean, one of them albums that's like the real emotion of how I feel about certain women or how certain things in my life took place. I mean, I feel like us men, we kind of fake it till we make it with women sometimes, and I'm not here for that. If it's really I love you, or really I used you, or really whatever the case may be, you know, that's really what you're gonna get. The reality of the situation. Being honest is cool, but being realistic is way much better, way much better. I got that. I just partnered up with the owner of WCW, so I'm happy to say that it's another magazine that I'm working and running with, you know what I mean? Got my lingerie line going on, popping in that. Make sure y'all cop that, WCW Mag, you know what I'm saying? Get you featured, get you published, whatever the case is, you know, something small. I do have more music coming. I haven't promoted as much music as I need to because I've been focusing on other people's careers. I had an autism event last year. We raised money for Riley's Hospital. I did that in Indiana. My song right now that's on Vivo, a song called Is It Worth It? It's about domestic violence. Chick who's a dancer, who's in an abusive relationship. We didn't get to fully tell the story the way we really, really wanted to, because you don't want, you know, when it comes to domestic violence, you can't really, it's a sensitive topic, and you don't want to do something to like cross the line, and I didn't want to do something just to sell a record. That's a very important topic to me. You know, I watched my mother get beat when I was younger, and you know, in my life when I was younger, I might have been verbally abusive to some women in my life, not knowing any better, having the proper guidance, you know, and when you grow up and you got sisters to look after and family members, and you lose your mom, you look at life and respecting individuals and women especially a little bit different. So I'm at a good spot in my life, but there's still a lot of room for me to grow. And, you know, right now it's just all about giving back. And I was hoping that record, you know, really touched a lot of people and just, you know, let them know, like, yo, if you're going through it, that's why there's a hotline number at the end of it, yo. Reach out to somebody. You know, it's a domestic violence song. It's called Is It Worth It? So on, you look it up, Google it. That's all I can say on that situation. There are other females that I'm going to be working with as far as the modeling and branding and, you know, pushing. But I like to stay in the dark on certain things. I have a lot of stuff going on once again. But if you want to follow me, you know, I am Luciano Layne. I'm on there. I'm on Twitter. I got a like page I really kind of be on, kind of not be on. There's a lot of stuff that's taken off in 2016. But the most thing I think what I really want to finish out on is I want to thank, you know, the big homie, my big homie, DJ Smallz, you know what I'm saying, for taking time out of his tour, you know what I'm saying, to rock with me, because, you know what I'm saying, I know you stay moving. I know you moving around and you got a lot of things going on, and just seeing that position that you was in when I first started, you know what I'm saying, to where you're at now, brother to brother, you know, I'm very, very proud to know you, to consider you now like a friend, and I just appreciate you to give me the opportunity to, you know, share my side of the story on what I got going on. So I want to tell you again, my brother, thank you. That's all.